Howdy, folks. I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. Well, 2 weeks ago, I was doing my Shepard Smith, looking at the adjacent computer, and I said, I kept looking away. That didn't look all that professional. Then last week, I put the papers on top of my computer, and it was really kind of scratching the built-in microphone. So this week, in my never stained by nicotine hands, I will have this week's script. It is week 3 of the NFL tailgate party. Just like your old score phone days where myself and Chris Jordan, who later was known as Oscar Charles Dooley, used to do it for you every single weekend. Let's get straight to it. We've got some NFL trends. All records that we quote are ATS. And thank you to my main man, Shea Matthews of ScoresOddsPicks.com for helping supply this. I didn't even proofread it yet. Let's see how good I am at this. The Cowboys and the Texans. Can the Cowboys bounce back in this must-win game? They're 11-2 their last 13 against the spread when allowing 250-plus passing yards in their previous game. But will the terrain be a problem? Dallas is 5-1 their last 6 games on grass, while the hosting Texans are 4-1 their last 5 on grass. The Falcons and the Saints, one of the great rivalries. Though the Saints are a powerhouse, they didn't cover the spread against San Francisco last week, and the betting trends point towards Atlanta. The Falcons are 5-1 their last 6 tries against teams with a winning record. The Saints are 1-5 their last 6 following a straight-up victory, and 1-6 their last 7 against their NFC South neighbors. The over looks solid here. It's 4-1 over their last 5 meetings. How about the Titans and the Giants? Shall we again? I remind you, all records are against the spread. Both teams show contradictory sportsbook trends in this cross-conference matchup. Titans have beaten the spread in the last 4 meetings, while the Giants are just 1-4 over their last 5 overall. Giants are 9-4 their last 13 games after allowing 30 points the previous contest, but 2-5 their last 7 home games. Remember the best sports service picks. Where do you get them? You're right. OffshoreInsiders.com. The Lions and the Vikings. Crazy to think how close these 0-2 Lions were to being 2-0. Still, the trends overwhelmingly favor Minnesota this week. Detroit is 2-6-2 over the last 10 meetings and 1-5-1 over the last 7 against the NFC North, where the Vikings are 4-1-1 over their last 6 to the NFC Norris, as Chris Berman likes to call them. But bettors beware, as the Lions and Vikings both look very different from their 2009 incarnations so far. Well, we agree with that, Shea, but there's kind of a reason for that. I think Brett Favre's preseason is now over. He's ready to start his version of the regular season. The 49ers and the Chiefs. The 49ers play better after a loss and taking 2 from Mike Singletary. That's why they beat the spread this past Monday. Yeah, barely went over the total. Look, as you know, we have a lot more winning weeks than losing weeks, but when a lot of games go down to the closing seconds, that's generally when we're less dominant. Oh, that Monday night game. Why did you have to remind me, Shea? Mike Singletary is 4-1 over the last 5 following a straight-up loss. While the Chiefs are hot, they're going 4-0 over the last 4. The long-term trends show that they don't always cover at home. They're 6-16 their last 22 games at Arrowhead, and of course, the 49ers obviously on a short week. The Eagles and the Jaguars. Eagles have failed to beat their last 5 spread wins, but could the trends reverse with Mike Vick starting against a suspect Jacksonville secondary in Week 3? The Jags are a pitiful 4-13 over the last 17 home games. It seems nothing comes easily for them. And by the way, we have a lot of clients up in the Philadelphia area. Just for you, that would be the Eagles against the Jaguars. How about the Colts and the Broncos? First things first, bet the over. At least that's what the trends say. This series is going over 6 straight meetings. Colts have beaten the spread against the Broncos 4 straight times, and they're 7-2 their last 9 road games. Meanwhile, the Broncos are tough sportsbook play at home when the spread is involved these days. They're 9-21 over the last 30 home games. And we also have this in text. You want to go over, just go to OffshoreInsiders.com. In the upper right-hand corner, click on the article section. All kinds of great free stuff, including free picks. Matt Rivers is among those guys, does have free picks daily at OffshoreInsiders.com. Now, as far as the Chargers and the Seahawks, San Diego's easy as pie start of the season continues with a road game in Seattle. Chargers are 1-6 over the last 7 after allowing 15 or fewer points the previous game. However, the road team is 5-1-1 over the last 7 games in this series. Seahawks are 1-8 over the last 9 when allowing 350 total yards in their previous contest. The Jets and the Dolphins. While the Jets have beaten the spread 6 of the last 7 trips to Miami, sports betting sharps shouldn't underestimate the impact of Darrelle Revis' absence, especially considering the Dolphins are 8-1 their last 9 games against AFC East opponents. Now for Monday Night Football, the Packers and the Bears. Based on trends, you probably have to recommend Green Bay. The Packers 4-0 in the series, 9-2 the last 11 in Chicago. Packer also 10-3 over the last 13 against the NFC North, 8-1-1 over the last 10 on grass. Meanwhile, the Bears are 3-8 over their last 11 divisional games, 1-5 over the last 6 at home, and 1-7 over their last 8 on grass. OffshoreInsiders.com is the place to go every single day. Stevie Vincent is on one of the great runs of all time. Professional Gambler Scores Odds Picks, the cheapest winning sports handicapping service on the entire internet. And of course, you got God's tips from me, Joe Duffy. Used to know me as JD of the ACC back on my Score Phone days. Speaking of Score Phone, one of the guys we finally were able to recruit over to OffshoreInsiders.com first full football season, but it was really about a year ago today we were able to sign Matt Rivers to a long-term contract to come to the show. He was the #1 handicapper on that large syndicated site, the same site that Brandon Lang abandoned, etc. He is at OffshoreInsiders.com, and of course there's the Master Lock Line, which traces its roots back to our Score Phone days as well. Those 976 Lock Line days, we got the Super Lock Line. Now it is the Master Lock Line. All that and more at OffshoreInsiders.com.